we're back for the Tokyo E3. B Dragon's gonna come pole from David Camino and Zep. Then it's the other hyper driver, Daf Sanchez, Valeria A. Ramirez, and Catfish. Medicis is 7th from K Hori and Ravo, with the other Apex team, Ika of Inokui, running out the top 10. Then it's Daniel Bogdasarov, Lawless Chiclet, Championship leader, Akari, Tuko, Alan Lee, Leo, and Marcus Nelson. Then it's the other Jaguar of Mini, only 17th and 18th for them. Then it's Ender Dragon Danny, Zygmunt, MF1 and Talos Kynes. With only a handful of races left to go in Season 12, and it's still anyone's game as all 5 lights go on. And we go green in Tokyo, covering off David Camino with B Dragon Sonic there to make sure he's got a better launch, and that's going to allow Zeph to get past his own teammate. The driver in the number 93 car has the inside line, sends it down the inside, coming through into turn 2, and takes the lead of the Tokyo E3. Zeph up into first with B Dragon Sonic still fighting him, and he's actually gone back past. K Hori getting past, and it's a virtual safety car as we've had a massive incident. Lawless Leclerc, championship leader, out of the Tokyo E3, and that was caused by the home driver K Hori slamming into a multitude of cars there. But I don't think too much damage other than that was caused. Looking at all the drivers who are behind, Akari's got nothing on his car. He's got no ERS deploy. His car's showing 0% car damage. He should be out of this race, should the Envision driver. All he needs to do, though, is limp back home, because he's not going to be able to regen anything. The only reason his rear car light's still flashing is because that's programmed into all the cars. But coming into the Casio Triangle, Zeph tried to close in on B Dragon Sonic. He's not quite close enough to make any sort of overtake yet. Akari on the back of K Hori tries to make a pass, and they're going to come into the pits. The Philippine driver and Vision Racing pits on lap 2, and that's just kind of unfortunate for them. So as for the 3 drivers involved in that incident, you have Akari, who was basically nuked, K Hori's been given a 5-second time penalty, and Lawless Leclerc. All 3 of those drivers have been punished, basically. Zygmunt and Talos Kynes fighting over at 18th place, neither one of them wanting to give it up that easily. We've had a new championship leader in each of the past 4 races. Could we see another one in leaving Tokyo? As Valeria A. Ramirez gets past Zeph, as Talos Kynes gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Valeria A. Ramirez to the front, but not for too much longer as B Dragon Sonic re-overtakes the Apex car and sets a new fastest second sector. We go on board with the brawn of Zeph, trying to close in on Ramirez, but lost out quite a bit coming through the Casio Triangle. So that's a lot of ground to make up in 10 laps. As Valeria A. Ramirez sets a purple lap time, it's a 121.050, slowest lap on the calendar so far. Alan Lee sets purple 3rd sector as he chases after Marcus Nelson. So taking a look at the top 4 in the World Drivers' Championship right now, you have B Dragon Sonic, currently 2nd in the championship, and he's leading the way. You have Lawless Leclerc, currently 1st in the championship, and he's out. Marcus Nelson, currently 4th in the championship, he's 12th, and Talos Kynes, currently 3rd in the championship, he's 17th. This is an open goal for B Dragon Sonic to retake the lead of the drivers' standings. It's the lead he got after Marina Bay, the lead he lost after Rome. And he's still yet to win a race. He is, however, leading this race by 2 whole seconds, so there is a shot at that long drought for its first win this season might be about to end. Still under wet conditions, Dap Sanchez, biggest loser on the start, he's lost 3 places from 4th down to 7th. But I think he should be able to hold on to that 7th because Bravery has to defend from the Frenchman of Daniel Balthasarov. It's Italy v France. Now why do I feel like that has some significance? Anyway, there goes Daniel Balthasarov in the number 97 for Andretti Autosport. Zef sets a new fastest first sector as a 26.699. As we see Daniel Balthasarov gaining on the hyperdrive Mercedes car of Dap Sanchez ahead. And this has just been announced. Dap Sanchez is allowed to move to a different team for season 13 and 2019 if spaces open up at other teams. He will be allowed to do so. Lap 5 of 13, and B-Dragon Sonic. Well, he's been holding this race lead for quite a while. And he hasn't really put a step wrong. Akari, still quite a ways off the back of the pack. And considering tyre wear, most drivers at 84% at this point, the tyres will be around 60 at the end of the race. Could it be a smart decision to pit onto a new set of inters? We'll only know by the end of the race, as we're still on board with David Camino on the back of Medicis. Revolution Maserati, they've had quite a tumultuous season so far. It's definitely could be better, is all I can really say. On board with that number 21 car for Revolution Maserati. And yeah, it's not actually too much I can say in terms of the racing here, at least for points. Outside of the points though, Kei Hori fighting to defend from Leo and to attack Marcus Nelson. This could get interesting then, as the race leaders come across the line to start their 6th lap, half race distance. Carlos Kynes now trying to get into this fight too. He's got a 5-second time penalty, but those 5 seconds ain't shit when he's trying to battle Leo for 14. Of course, right now he would with those 5 seconds only be 19th place, so he really needs to get a move on a piece to get some points and make a dent on whoever's going to be leading this Drivers' Championship. He's trying to find a way to go by. He's got the outside, but that doesn't really help him too much yet. So he's going to switch to the outside line again, and not been given the inside has Carlos Kynes. So he's going to have to wait to find another opportunity to try and get past the Envision car ahead of him. They were holding line at Sten just a few moments ago, coming through Spoon Curve, trying to find a way to weasel his way past the Envision car. They're side by side. Spain versus the Dominican. Spain versus the Philippines, and through goes Carlos Kynes as further ahead. Thought I saw an overtake for another driver further ahead, but I think I must have missed that. Because next up on the chopping block for Carlos Kynes, it's Kei Hori. Both of these drivers with 5-second time penalties. One of them is the home hero that everyone was hoping could salvage an amazing finish. But on lap 7 of 13, the Japanese driver has to wave goodbye to Carlos Kynes, who's now further up the road. He's got himself up into 13th place. Now, I want to talk about Akari for a second here. He sent some pretty good sex designs on his new instances, but they're not really setting the world on fire. He's 9 seconds down on MF1 World, so he has gained back to around where he was. It's just not as close as he would have wanted it to be. We go on board with Akari then. 21st and last of the Envision driver. Surely not what he would have envisioned for this race, but we see Catfish trying to send it round the outside. It will become the intent for the McLaren driver. Raybo coming through there's your triangle. They're still so close together, side by side are the two drivers. Daniel Bogdasarov, he's probably not wanting this, but he's going to have to get involved here. And he's going to have to defend from 2 raging drivers behind him. So, could Catfish take 2 positions coming into the first 10? Not quite. Not quite for the Malaysian driver for Neon McLaren. He's still on the back of Ravo ahead of him. So there's still that chance for him to take more points home for McLaren. Carlos Kynes, by the way, he's got himself up into 12th place. He's chasing Marcus Nelson, and the gap between those two drivers is currently 0.4 of a second, and they are behind this pack by 3 whole seconds. Ravo, however, looking to try and get past Daniel Bogdasarov, who is also looking to try and get past the car ahead of him. In this case, it's Enoch QE. And there goes Daniel Bogdasarov up the hill. But Enoch still trying to fight it. It's gotten quite a bit drier now. I think drivers might actually be coming to the pits to make pit stop. And Daniel Bogdasarov has gone Enoch QE. And he's been given a 5-second time penalty for that collision. As into the pits comes everyone. Valeria A. Ramirez could have a race lead on it. And it's not quite. B-Dragon Sonic will take the lead. He's coming out of the pits. And I do believe it is the smart move to go on to the mediums. And all the softs. They are both good tops. Not Huey's gone onto the hards. My goodness me, that's unfortunate for them. And failed strategy option. And we've got VSC, because out of the race in the pits has gone Ender Dragon Danny and Mini. And that was Mini ahead. I think they must have tangled coming out of the pit exit. That's 2 drivers out, and Jaguar's championship ambitions in the constructors has taken a blow. VSC ending, but Marcus Nelson got himself up into 7th after that virtual safety car in the pits. Carlos Kynes, however, he's up into 8th. He could draw first blood here, with the driver standing saying that he's faster than the cars ahead of him. He looks for the inside line, not quite there yet. He pulls to the outside of Marcus Nelson. Then quite a roller coaster of a ride here in Japan. He's got himself past Marcus Nelson and Enoch QE. However, that 5-second time penalty, he might have to rue it, because at this point in time, he would drop outside of the points. He'd be 11th. Carlos Kynes is setting a fastest 2nd sector as he now chases after Daph Sanchez. However, Kynes will not get DRS here. Yui and Marcus Nelson, I believe, should get it. Zeph setting a fastest 3rd sector of anybody. Carlos Kynes now resets that purple sector. Kynes now 2 seconds up the road. And right now he'd be scoring 1 point. He would be scoring 1 point. B-Dragon Sonic having a purple 1st sector. He's setting the mini sexes alight in the Hyperdrive car. Hyperdrive Mercedes EQ could be about to come home for their 1st win of the season. B-Dragon Sonic, the 8-time Formula E Monopoly champion, could be about to come home for his 1st of the season. as Akari, after all of that nonsense, has actually been able to make up ground. He's 17th now. So he's not going to be dead last, thankfully, for Team Envision. As we see Akari, he's gaining on MF1 World. So B-Dragon Sonic sets a fast lap, make that Valeria A. Ramirez a 118.666. Salas Kynes resets that by a whole second, and as we see Hari and Alan Lee try and fight each other, Akari lost so much time coming through that chicane. Salas Kynes now, he's going to be on the back of Daf Sanchez anytime now. He's only going to be 7th after his 5-second time penalty is going to be applied. It's been a remarkable recovery drive for the Porsche driver. Sanchez, however, on the back of Mordices, as he should get DRS on the next time of asking down the main straight. But Zeth gaining somewhat on B-Dragon Sonic. He is looking to try and make that move. And there's Salas Kynes, slowly getting himself into frame, slowly getting himself ready to overtake one of these drivers should they make any mistakes, as Daf Sanchez pulls alongside K. Mordices, and he's going to take fourth place here. If he can just hold it around the outside, he's not going to get DRS down the straight, so that's going to hinder him. And they're still side by side, so Mordices should be able to get 4th here. He's got DRS as Valeria Ramirez is coming to the pits, as those soft tyres have not held up as much as the Apex driver would have wanted them to. So it seems like mediums were probably the way to go if you wanted to go long into this race, at least without making a second stop. Because now I think all the soft tyre runners might actually be a bit worried about how long the tyres can actually do. Valeria Ramirez came out of the pits. She is now lost. As we go on board with Akari trying to get past MF1 World still. Zeph now under a second away from B-Dragon Sonic. That gap, however, reopens. Is Daf Sanchez still on the back of K. Mordices? Salas Kynes still watching them pull it out for that now final place on the podium. As K. Hari, another time penalty for a collision, as Valeria Ramirez, freshest tyres of anyone and currently out there. Daf Sanchez to 3rd place, coming into the final chicane. As coming out of that final chicane is B-Dragon Sonic. Does he decide to pit on the final time of asking? No, these will be the tyres that the top 2 will finish on. As Salas Kynes now gets past K. Mordices. It's the final lap. As out of the race has gone Daniel Volkazarov at the wall. And hitting him is Valeria A. Ramirez, and they are now both out of this race. At the final lap, final chicane. And that is absolutely not how Valeria wanted to end this race. She probably saw at least 1 point on the cards, considering all the time penalties and the fact that she had the fastest tyres of anyone. And that's all going to have to wait now. Salas Kynes, as it stands, will only be 5th, even with that 5-second time penalty. That'll help him out with his championship ambitions, but there's no hope of a podium. He could get up to 3rd, but he'll need quite a lot coming through the final few turns to actually make that happen. He is, however, gaining rapidly on the hyperdrive car ahead of him. He's still gaining, but he's gone quite a bit deep. He has had to go wide coming through in that turn. But someone who's made no mistakes. It's been a lights the flag victory for the 8-time Drivers' Champion. Here he is for the first time in Season 12. As off has gone Daf Sanchez, his own teammate. B-Dragon Sonic wins the Tokyo E-Prix. His teammate comes across the line for it to be a hyperdrive 1-2 finish. Zep, who just about collided into the wall at the end there, he will be 3rd. Salas Kynes with a time penalty, as, oh my goodness me, Catfish has just gone into the wall. We saw in the background there both Zerf and Sanchez hitting the wall, but at that final turn, what seemed to be Dragon Sonic's greatest win yet, a lights to flag victory, has turned into a hyperdrive 1-2 finish. And here is your podium then. For the first time this season, you can see the enthusiasm in his hands. Dragon Sonic wins the Tokyo Prix with his own teammate Dav Sanchez alongside him. He was second. Then it's Zef in third for Braun GP. It's an all hyperdrive is top 3 then, because Braun gets its powertrains from Mercedes. Then it's Rodicis and Salas Kynes who got that fastest lap near the end of the race. And it's Marcus Nelson, Wavo and David Camino. And Kiwi is 9th with Leo in 10th. Then it's Sigmund, Catfish, MF1 World, Akari, Bianli and Batuko, as well as Keiharu being your non-scorers. Your non-finishers were Valerio Ramirez, Daniel Baltasar, those two at the tail end of the race, Mini, Ender Dragon Danny and Lawless Chclug. In the drivers' standings, Dragon Sonic leads the way on 91 points from nearest rival Lawless Chclug on 75. Then it's Salas Kynes and Dav Sanchez who are now tied on points on 68 points. Then you have Marcus Nelson on 64, Batuko, David Camino and Zef all on 49 points. Then it's Zygmunt on 47, Alan Lee on 41 points, 1 point back you'll find Ender Dragon Danny, Valerio Ramirez on 36, Keiharu and Catfish both on 31 points, Wavo and Medicis both on 30 points, Mini and Daniel Baltasar both on 26 points, Akari on 24 points, MF1 World on 22 points, and Okiwi on 9 points, and Leo on 3. In the constructors' standings going into round 10 in Las Vegas, Hyperdrive Mercedes EQ lead the way on 159 points, and it's at Cupra on 122, then it's Porsche on 117, Braun FE team on 98 points, Jaguar on 90, then it's Andretti on 67 points, Bugatti on 62 points, they're tied with McLaren Neon, then it's Revolution Maserati on 60, Apex GP on 45 points, and Envision Racing last place on 27. We'll see you guys next time then, under the lights and on the strip for the Las Vegas Prix.